Hi Tacoma, welcome back to TV Teaching for 3rd grade. Today is Wednesday, October 14th. I'm Mrs. Oslin. Before we get started with our writing lesson, we're going to check in with our zones. So take a moment to think, what emotion are you feeling? If you're not sure the name of the emotion that you're feeling, you can check in with what's happening in your brain and what's happening with your body. Are your brain and your body connected? Do you feel on track, balanced, ready to learn? Practice using an I message to express your emotions to others. An I message sounds like, I feel because And I'm going to model that with Rafa. Rafa, I feel tired this morning because one of my kids woke me up very early this morning. Now, 3rd graders, it's your turn. Practice using an I message to express how you're feeling and why. We've been practicing showing gratitude this week. Gratitude is when we think about the positive things in our life that make us feel happy. So even though I'm feeling tired because one of my kids woke me up early this morning, I'm grateful that I have my kids and that they're around to wake me up. So I can take my feeling of being tired and I can look at it through a positive perspective. And while it doesn't really make me less tired, it gives me a better attitude. Even though I'm still tired, I can have a good attitude about it. So think about how you're feeling and think about what are you grateful for. Take some think time. Now, practice sharing your gratitude message. I'm grateful for because Go ahead. Okay, 3rd graders, now that we have an attitude of gratitude, the materials that you're going to need for today's lesson are your learning buddy. I have Rafa. You might have another stuffed animal or a pet rock, or maybe there's someone in the room that can do some thinking and talking with you today. You're also going to need your ELA packet, a pencil, and your writing notebook. Learning buddy, ELA packet, pencil, writing notebook. You gather those materials and meet me over at the screen. You'll remember that when we meet for writing workshop, you have responsibilities and I have responsibilities. Today, I want you to focus on listening carefully, trying new techniques, using your time wisely, and I think this is the most important. Take pride in your work and produce the best work you can. My role and my responsibility that I'm going to focus on is encouraging students regarding what they have done well, and I'm going to work on live and grow like a writer. And actually, I think this last one's really important too. Remember that I am teaching writers, not pieces of writing. It's the process that's important, not necessarily the outcome. Today, we're going to review strategies that writers use when they are stuck. I mean stuck as in I don't know what to write about. Sometimes I sit down to write and I can't think of anything. So today we're going to read a book that's going to help us. And you'll remember we have this document in your your ELA packet. What do you do when you are stuck? And these are some ideas. I want to point out that you can talk with a fellow writer. You can use a mentor text. This is the one that we're really going to focus on today because our mentor text really gives us really good ideas for how to take some seemingly boring events in our lives and make them more exciting. And it also is going to encourage us to write about the things that are positive and the things that aren't so positive in our life. You can also reread an entry in your writer's notebook and see if there's anything that you can pull out, which means use, to write a new piece. You can also go back into your notebook and see if there is information that can help guide you. Now, the book we're going to read today is called You Have to Write, and it was written by Janet S. Wong and illustrated by Teresa Flavin. And Janet, our author, is going to teach us that sometimes as writers, we don't always have an idea of what to write about. And she's going to show us through characters who get stuck in their own writing how to think of our lives and think of us as individuals. And keep in mind that no one else can write about your experiences and your perspective except for you. You Have to Write by Janet S. Wong, illustrated by Teresa Flavin. You have to write, you hate to write. You want to make it good, to make us cry or bust up laughing when the room is quiet. You want the laugh to come from the belly, a surprise, like a burp with a smile. So you look and look and look a while for something special to write about. Some magic story. Your eyes dance around the room, out the window, into the hall, as you look and look and look all around. Now, our author, Janet, did a really interesting thing with the text. That's the words on the picture, or on the page. The first two paragraphs are normal letters, but now the third paragraph, she does what's called italicized, and that's where the letters start to slant. And when the letters are italicized or slanted, that's where the characters are thinking or speaking. So now we're going to go into what one of our characters is thinking. Boy, how the others shine. She's got a story. She's been to France, and him with his big house and his mother's car. Wait, did you forget who you are? Who else can say what you have seen? Who else can tell your stories? And the stories of your mother and your father, and your grandmother and grandfather, and uncles and aunts and cousins, and your dog and your cat, and the fish you wish you had. No one else can say what you have seen and heard and felt today. But if you tell us well, very well, your stories will seem like our own. Oh, if only you were taller, if only your family were rich, if only you lived the good life. Now here it is again, italicized. This is what the character is thinking. Why do my parents have to fight? Now Janet tells us, write about the fights. Write about the holes in your socks, your grandmother cracking her knuckles, your father snoring all night long. This is where Janet is encouraging us to look at the things that maybe aren't so positive in our lives. Parents fight. People fight in our lives. We can use that to inspire and guide our writing. Reach inside. Write about the dark times. Now here it is, italicized again. The rain soaked the library book. I tried to keep it dry under my coat. I hid the wet book in a pile in my room, almost forgetting the whole mess until the book started to grow black spots. It was a book on flowers, one spotted lily on the cover, writing. Now take a moment and look at what our illustrator, Teresa, has done in the first photo. How do you think that character is feeling about the book that got wet from the library that he hid, forgot about it, and then it started to grow mold? I think that character might be embarrassed, maybe ashamed. You can use that to write. Now, Janet goes on, write about the bright times. My mother sponged the spots clean with bleach. I found some rocks to press the book that had paper towels placed flat inside. Though it still looked not quite right, a ripple running through the spine, our librarian didn't mind and sent me home with books on birds, wrapped in a plastic bag to keep them from flying away, she said. Now, Janet is telling us that we can write about the same event, the dark times, the times where we felt an uncomfortable feeling, shame, embarrassment, and we can write about the bright times where we fixed the problem. Maybe the book wasn't quite right, but the librarian didn't mind, and they sent him home with a new book. Now look at the second picture. How is our character feeling now? Tell your learning buddy what you think the character is feeling. You might have said that our character is feeling proud that he solved a problem, or he's feeling pleased that his mom was there to help him. Maybe he's feeling happy that the librarian sent him home with new books. Some will call you crazy. You think you're so special? Go ahead. Be important. Dream big. All right. I'll write. Later, when I think of something. You ever had that moment when you're writing, you sit down to write, and you can't think of anything to write? Write now. Think now. Remember. Take your mind for a walk. Back to this morning, back to yesterday, back to when you were 6 and 5 and 4 and 3, scared of the wind in the trees. So Janet is saying, don't put it off. Right now. Think. Take your mind for a walk. That means think through your memories. Think about when you were younger. Think about when you were scared of the wind in the trees. And then on the next page, the photo of the character in bed. Again, we have italicized writing. So this is Janet telling us that we're in the character's thoughts. I hear a strong wind and I shiver between the cold sheets, wondering if the old tree outside Mommy's window will break and fall and hurt her, asleep, and leave me all alone. Again, we're thinking about a dark time, a not pleasant memory or idea. We can still use that as inspiration for our writing. Write about now, tonight, tomorrow. Here we go into another character's mind. Trash today, tomorrow. It's my job to wheel the can out to the curb and set it straight. Make sure it's set on level ground. Can't have it rolling down the hill. I've got to fill the can just so to fit the trash we make each week. If the lid is not tight, the crows will pull and tear the bags and toss the apple cores and bones everywhere into the street. And then the wild dogs will come, and neighbors walking by will think, I didn't know how to do it right. This character has taken something, a chore, taking out the trash, and he's managed to write a couple paragraphs about it. And he's thinking about what happens if I don't get it just right. Well, the crows will pull and tear the bags and toss the apple cores and bones everywhere, making something that seems so simple a little more dramatic and exciting to write about. And then the wild dogs will come. And then what will the neighbors think? Why not think about the plain, the everyday, even the downright smelly, this stuff, the way it really happens? And our illustrator, Teresa, has given us a lot of good ideas about what Janet calls the plain, the everyday, the downright smelly. So look at these pictures and think about, how do these things really happen in your life? Now think, how could you write about these seemingly everyday, plain, mundane things? Now, tell your learning buddy what you're thinking about how you could write about these seemingly plain, everyday events that happen in your life. Could you write about raking leaves and think about the sound that the leaves make? Think about what happens in the fall when you're raking leaves. Could you think about making soup or dinner? I made chili last night, so I can think about the smell from all the spices. I can think about the burn on my hands from the jalapenos. I could write about that. Could you write about a time when you learned how to swim? Maybe how you felt kind of scared at first, but then exciting and proud once you figured it out? These are all things that happen every day that you could write about. Make a picture in your mind, clear, true. Move that picture from your mind down to a piece of paper, a napkin, or the back of your hand, the bottom of your shoe. Write. What if you write the worst string of words ever? Never fear. Eat a carrot, take a nap, drink water, come back to this piece of work so bad that there must be a dozen ways to write it better. And write it better. Write it again on a clean piece of paper, twist your ideas, stretch, snatch new words out of nowhere. This is something that I've done before, where I've had to do some writing and I finish it and I'm like, this is the worst writing I've ever done. What a great place to start. Walk away, come back to it, and what an opportunity to make your writing better, and then do it. Make your words move. Make your words dance. 5 or 10 or 15 times, 50 different dances if you're strong. And lay each piece of paper out on a long stretch of floor and pluck the best parts out of each piece. Weave them together. Half of draft 1, a word from draft 4, a whole line from number 5. This is an idea that's on our What Writers Do When They Get Stuck chart. Go back and read other writing. Have that inspire you. Use words from old pieces of writing that you've done to help you with a new piece. Try. That's also on our list. Try your best. Because you have to write, and you want it to be good. Now, writers, in your ELA packet, you will find these 2 documents, My Writing Life Timeline and Ideas for My Writing Life. You can use the ideas from your writing life, pull out 4, the first time you wrote your name, the first piece of writing you ever published, writing your first poem, story, research paper, your first autobiography or memoir, all these things, learning to write your ABCs back when you were in kindergarten. Pick 4, and then on the My Writing Life timeline, you're going to draw a picture, and then underneath the picture, there are lines. That's where you're going to write notes to yourself. Then pick one of those, and that's going to be your inspiration for your writing in your writer's notebook today. When you get stuck, go back to this document. Talk with a fellow writer. Use the mentor text you have to write. Janet and Teresa gave us some wonderful ideas for how we can take our seemingly everyday activities and write about them. Now, 3rd graders, this is going to be your 5-minute break. You're going to go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, stretch your legs, and then when you come back, Mrs. Wally will be here for math. Remember, your independent work today will be the My Writing Life timeline, and pick one of those to write about in your writer's notebook, and Continue to build your independent reading stamina. Thank you so much for reading and writing with me today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.
Welcome back, third graders. I hope you had a great break. Please make sure before we start that you have your whiteboard and marker, your learning buddy, and counters if you have them, or base 10 blocks if you have them. You may need them today, you may not, but it's always good to be prepared. So make sure you gather those things and then come on back for our learning. As we're waiting for our friends to gather their things, this is called Work It Out Wednesday. Now, you're not allowed to write on your board. We're going to do all of this math in our head. I'm going to record your thinking so we can see it, but we're going to do it all in our head. So we have to figure out the sum for this problem. Remember, an addend plus an addend is the same as a sum or equal to a sum. So what should we do? Private think time. How would you attack this problem? Okay, go ahead. What are you thinking? How would you attack this problem? Okay, so I hear some people say, well, I'd add the ones and then the tens and then add them together. So 8 and 2 is 10, and 3 and 1 is 4, but those are 10, so that's 40, and 40 and 10 is 50. Okay, so we think it's 50. Let's write that out to see if that works. So we know that 18 is 10 and 8, and we know that 32 is 30 and 2. So 8 and 2 is 10, plus 30 is 40, plus 10 is 50. Excellent. Let's try another one. Work it out. Ooh, little trickier. What are you going to do to solve this problem? Do you want to pull it apart again? Okay. So we know that 26 is 20 and 6. We know that 19 is 10 and 9. What is 6 plus 9? 15. Okay. What is 15 plus 10? 25. What is 25 plus 20? 45. Is there another way that you could solve that? Is anyone thinking of another way? Oh, someone says, well, I know 6 can be pulled into 5 and 1, and 9 and 1 is 10. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 5. Oh, that's a tricky way to do it. Ooh, you ready? What do you know about 6 and 4? Makes 10. So we have 70 plus 20 plus 10. What is 7 plus 3? So what is 70 plus 30? Yeah, it's 100. Done. See how when we can pull the numbers apart and we can put them back together, how that can help us use mental math to get to an answer quickly? Nice job, third graders. Okay, 56 plus 27. What was that, Rafa? Rafa said, Mrs. Wally, look. 6 can be pulled apart into 2 3s. And we know that 3 and 7 is a group of 10. So we've got 50 plus 20 plus 10. Well, what's 20 plus 10? 30. So it's 50 plus 30. 80. And then don't forget, we still have a group of 3. So what's our answer? Yeah, 83. Did anyone do that one differently? You might have done 50 and 6, 20 and 7. 6 and 7 is 13, plus 20 is 33, plus 50 is 83. That works too. Excellent mental math. Okay. 66 plus 37. Private think time. How are you going to work this one out? Okay, go ahead. Tell your your learning buddy. How are you going to work this one out? Rafa, that's interesting. Oh, Pebble, we haven't done it that way yet, have we? Here's what Pebble said. Pebble said, well, I know that 7 can be split into 4 and 3. I know if I add 4 to 66, it's going to equal 70. So I've done this addend, and I've used this addend, right, so far? So now all I have left is 33. Well, 70 plus 33 is, what is 70 plus 33? 103. Did you do it that way, or did you do it a different way? You may have said 60 plus 30 is 90, and 6 plus 7 is 13, and 90 plus 13 is 103. That's another way to do it. Great mental math strategies, third graders. What I want you to do, I'm going to get set up. As I'm getting set up, I want you to find the difference of 433 minus 298. So you can use any strategy you want, find the difference, and then we're going to work it out and see. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Ready? On your whiteboard, find the difference, show your thinking, go. I'm going to move that down, give us more space. You almost there? Okay, I'm going to use 2 methods. Check your work with mine and see if you got the same answer. The first method I'm going to use is going to be the number line. How many of you use the number line? Excellent. If you didn't use the number line, you might do it along with me to check your thinking. So I look at the number 298, and I think, where's the clue? I need to get to the next 10, which is actually going to be what? 298, 299, 300. Right? And how many hops does it take to get to 300? 98, 99, 200. Just 2. Now I want to get to the next 100 because I'm already at 100, right? To the next 100. Well, what's my closest 100 to 433? Looking at the 4, my closest is 400. So we're going to hop all the way to 400. And how much did I hop? What's that space between? 300 to 400 is how much? Yeah, 100. Okay. Now, 400 to 33 to 433 is how much? If I was to hop, yep, 33. Now let's add it up. What is 33 plus 2? 35. So I've got those. Plus 100, 135. Now, let's check our thinking. My camera turned off. Hang on. I know how to fix this. Here we go. We're going to turn on the camera. We're going to type camera. Here it goes. Ta-da! And we're back. Okay, so I need to take 8 from 3. There aren't enough there, so I'm going to ungroup a 10 into 10 ones. This is no longer 3, it's 13 ones, and this is now 2 10s. What is 13 minus 8? 5. Excellent. Now I need to take 9 from 2. There's not enough tens there. So I'm going to ungroup 100 into 10 tens. Now I don't have 2 tens, I have 12 tens. And I don't have 4 hundreds, I have 3 hundreds. What is 12 minus 9? 3. Now I'm going to take 2 from 3. Can I do that? I sure can. How many hundreds do I have left? 1. Look at that. Answer, answer. Excellent job, third graders. Let's clean off our board. I need to clean this table. Ooh. Okay. Here we go. So let's just look at this example. It says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it really well. Give me just a second. You're going to watch some teacher magic. You ready? You're going to watch some teacher magic happen. I want to make this really big so you can see it really well because it's kind of small. We're going to take that away. Have you ever had your teachers in class have to do this before? It happens. Ah, is that better? Can you see that better? I think you can. So let's just look at this together. It says find the difference of 805 and 279. It says, look at how you could show your work by using the algorithm. So 805, they regrouped, didn't they? They see this 0 here. They know they're going to need to put something here. So they say, no longer is it 800, which is showing right here where it says 800. No longer is it 800. Now it's 700, right? No longer is it 0. Now it's 10 tens, which is the same as 100. 10 tens. And still 5 ones. Okay, so now I'm going to take 9 from 5. I can't do that. So now it's still 700s, but it's not 10 tens anymore. It's 9 tens, which is the same as 90. And it's not 5 ones, it's now 15 ones. And now we can subtract. 15 minus 9 is 6. 7, I'm going up, you don't go up. You take 7 away from 9. 9 minus 7 is 2. 7 minus 2 is 5. So they took the place value and they're showing you the meaning of each of these spots. This is not 7. This is 700. This is not 9. It's 9 tens, which is 90. This is 15 because it's 15 ones. Okay? Let's keep going. Now it says, find 450 minus 131, show your work. We're going to do the same thing we did before. You are going to have 1 minute when I say go to try and solve this on your own. And then we will do it together and check our work. Are you ready? Go. All right. This time I'm going to start with the standard algorithm, and then I'm going to move to the number line to check my work. So, 0 minus 1. Nope. So this is now 4 tens or 40, and this is now 10 ones. 10 minus 1. 9. 4 minus 3. Or 40 minus 30. Does it work? 4 minus 3 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. Let's check our work. 131. How much to get to the next 10? What's my next 10? If I'm in the 30s, what's my next 10? 140. And how many hops from 31 to 40? 9. Okay. Now I'm at 140, and I want to get to the next 100, which is 200. How many hops to get from 140 to 200? Well, 40 and 60 make 10. I meant make 100, or 4 and 6 make 10. Now I'm at 200, and I want to get to 400. How do I get from 200 to 400? I hop. How much from 200 to 400? Yep. And then 50. Well, what is 60 plus 50? 60 plus 50? 110. What's 110 plus 200? 310. What's 310 plus 9? 319. Do the differences match? They do. Nice work. We're going to do one more problem. This time it's in a story problem. Are you ready? Corey works 144 hours a month. He has worked 72 hours so far this month. How many more hours does Corey have to work this month? What's happening here? Corey's working. He's worked part of his month, but he hasn't worked the whole month. So what are we trying to figure out? What are we trying to figure out? We are trying to figure out how many more hours does Corey have to work? Okay, what do we know? We know that in a month, he works 144 hours. We also know that he has already worked 72 hours. So go ahead and draw a bar model with me. Here we go. Here's his month, right? Where's our question mark? What are we trying to figure out? Worked? Needs to work? Or for the month? Where's our question mark going to go? What are we trying to figure out? How many more hours does Corey have to work? Boop, right there. What do we know? He's worked 72 hours. And in the whole month, he's going to work 144 hours. Okay? Look, I have a whole and a part. So I subtract. Here we go. Let's do it. What is 4 minus 2? Now freeze. I want you to look at what we have left here. We're trying to take 70 from 40. We can't do that. But if I was to take this and make it 0, and then put 10 over here, it's still going to be what number? 14. I don't need to get, we can just take 140 minus 70. What is 140 minus 70? What's 14 minus 7? It's 7. 70 plus 70 is 140. Let's check on an open number line really quick and see if that worked. I'm at 72 and I need to get to 144. 72 to the next 10 is 80, which is 8. 80 to 100 is 20. 100 to 144 is 44. What is 44 plus 20? 64. What is 64 plus 8? 72. So how many hours does he need to work? 72 hours. Meet me on back over at the screen and we'll go over what your assignment is for today. All right, there are actually more problems we didn't get to today, and that's okay. This was a review day. So you could actually work some of page 73 and 74, do the ones we didn't get to today, and make sure that if there are problems you don't understand, that you circle them, and when you are in contact with your teacher this week, you ask them for help. So you're going to do page 74 at least in your workbook, and some of 73 if you have some time. Meet me on up for our affirmation. Third graders, we've all been home for a long time. And that means we've been around our loved ones a lot. And sometimes when that happens, problems come up. But we've learned how to identify our own feelings and how to communicate using iMessages to others how we feel. And that makes you a strong problem solver. So our affirmation today is, I am a strong problem solver. My turn. I am a strong problem solver. Your turn. Excellent job. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.